本節目內主持人及嘉賓的言論純屬個人意見，並不代表本台立場。
Okay, so welcome to this episode of Boiling Point. You've got Julian here and Ben here. And well, Ben, today we're going to cover several crucial topics. One of which is what you prepared is how long hair and his guys are reacting to the visit of Steve Bannon.
Yeah, I wanted to compare basically their opposition to Steve Bannon with their acceptance or embrace of Hong Kong nationalism. And the example that I give for that is, operator, can you please show pic 11.51.01.
So we go now.
Yes, I mean, this was that rally they had a few weeks ago in support of the 16 that was organised by the League of Social Democrats, and you can see the League of Social Democrats flag there on the stage with two prominent Hong Kong nationalists, Ray Wong and Edward Leung.
Yep.
So
they're supposed to be the opposite sides.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the point I want to make is that the LSD, who was operator, can you please show pic image 3? My point is that LSD, they protest against American nationalism, but they accept Hong Kong nationalism, and to me that's hypocritical.
Of course.
And so, does it just mean that their slogans are meaningless and they're ideologically vacuous, and so they're not true globalists, and that they just, they can accept nationalism if if it's convenient, if it's
beneficial,
if it's opportunistic.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So thanks for that. And maybe we can show one more pic. Maybe image 2. Maybe the next one. So I think there's some slogans that say no hatred, no racism, no nationalism.
And what's in the upper picture?
Yeah.
The one on the top.
Yeah.
You see that in the banner, it's the black one.
Yeah.
The Nazis.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the Antifa movement they love to put up in front of the cameras.
Yeah. Yeah, anybody who doesn't agree with them are Nazis.
Yeah, they're quick to label.
And what's very interesting, thanks operator, is what's...
display.
And also what I thought was very interesting is as this kind of contradiction, this being against American nationalism but accepting or embracing or advocating Hong Kong nationalism is also a position. This contradictory position was also, surprise, surprise, the position of Big Lychee blog that we covered that we outed as a CIA agitprop in the very first episode. Operator, can you please show what's this? Just image, the last pic. There's a recent.
Operator 有個圖係就咁叫 image 嘅，阿 Ben 俾你嘅。應該係最後尾嗰個，係咪？ Is it this one?
Yeah, this
Big Lychee.
Yeah, they've changed the banner since we last had a look at it. But the point here is, it basically says, yeah, Hong Kong nationalism is good. The deplorables. The Hong Kong deplorables are the pro-Chinese immigration people.
Seriously?
That was the point he was trying to make, or whoever they are. And this is exactly the position of kind of a long hair and LSD too, right?
Yeah.
Hong Kong nationalism, fine. American nationalism, no. So, yeah, that's just the contradiction I wanted to point out.
When it comes to American nationalism, if they're really taking it seriously, I mean, if the whole country is going to that direction, that means people like long hair will be receiving less and less, allowances.
Well, who knows? I mean,
come on, it's so obvious.
That's enough of that pick, please, operator. And these,
it's so obvious.
Well, the other interesting thing to note is George Soros appointed a new chief to the Open Foundation, which is his NGO that doles out funding to NGOs around the world in line with his ideological stance, and the new chief of the Open Foundation is a former Obama staffer and a former ambassador.
Not surprising.
So you can see all these connections between, say, Soros, State Department, Obama's State Department, or Hillary Clinton's State Department.
Leftards, libtards, George Soros,
and then
the leftards of Hong Kong.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if any of these incidents are connected, but
Line, hook, and sinker.
They may or may not be. And operator, can you please show image 5?
Image, no, operator.
So the kind of this is VOA, Voice of America. And
so we see Steve Bannon here.
Yeah, so it's well, this is the VOA report, basically reporting on long hair and LSD's protest against Bannon. Okay, that's enough of that pick. There's also a Reuters report and a Hong Kong Free Press report that reported on long hair and LSD's protest. And I think there was like 12 to 15 people, and it was the Socialist Work or Socialist Action, just those long-haired people. But they're
communist.
But the point is, they're not like kind of grassroots protesters, right? They're out every weekend, and people don't even pay attention to their protests because they're kind of professional protesters.
Yeah, they know where how to do it without getting caught, how to get the most attention, how to get paid.
Well, yeah. Anyway, so just wanted to point out these contradictions.
Well, when it comes to Steve Bannon, because maybe our audiences have no idea who he is. So let me talk a little bit about Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon is an American media executive and former investment banker, who is executive chairman of Breitbart News. So he's a media titan. And then he served as the White House chief strategist, which was a newly created position in the administration of the U.S. President Donald Trump during the first 7 months of terms. And he's a father of children of 3, and he was graduated from Harvard University. He also served in the military. He was a lieutenant, an 03 lieutenant in the U.S. Navy.
Yeah.
And well, he's a friend of Donald Trump, obviously, and he has advocated reductions in immigration and restrictions on free trade, particularly with China and Mexico.
Yeah.
I think recently he visited Hong Kong, right?
Yeah.
And before coming, he told the 60 Minutes on Sunday that the U.S. had to take a more tougher stance with China over trade.
Yeah.
and appropriating U.S. Technology.
Yep.
Well, because it's a well-known fact that with all these reversed engineering and corporate spies, everything, China has been stealing all these hard researched technology of the U.S. and other countries, including Germany and many more. And so he said that the elites in this country have got us in a situation. He said we're not at economic war with China. China is at economic war with us.
Yeah.
So that speech he gave in Hong Kong which was really interesting because it was an event organized by some I think pro-Chinese, pro-Beijing, some state-owned
CSLA, I think.
Yep. It was organized by the largest state-owned Chinese brokerage firm. Now the interesting part is, I think the reason why they're inviting him to that event and it was not open to the press.
Yeah.
It's closed.
Yeah.
The reason is, I think they're really having a tough time guessing Donald Trump's intent about what he's going to do with China, everything. So he's trying to get his right-hand man to their events and try to get some idea.
Yes. Well, that's this China trade war thing. It's not really only the the nationalists, the American nationalists who want to do this, because I think it's widely accepted that the big U.S. trade deficits and that China's making too much money and getting from American consumers
without having improvements on human rights standards.
Yeah.
And everything.
Actually, I remember before the American election, there was an op-ed, and it said, whoever wins, the China policy has to change. China has to be confronted. So,
well, it's natural because Obama had been in good terms in having so much tolerance for China for like what, 8 years.
Yeah, well, I guess there's a certain affinity between
and that event was really full of bankers who were really having concerns with the recent situation with U.S., North Korea, China, everything.
Yeah.
So they had to invite him and see if, but we know that he has never been soft with China. The interesting part is he didn't really open fire to China during that speech.
Really?
Yep. It's kind of.
I think I'm not sure if he said it then, but he said the path to Pyongyang leads through Beijing, and I think what he meant by that is to deal with North Korea and to manage its nuclear weapons. You got to deal with China.
Yeah, because there are lots of Chinese merchants and bankers there doing business with North Koreans.
Yeah,
and that is exactly why that event was so full of those bankers, because they really want to know what Trump is going to do with North Korea. So long hair has been protesting against Steve Bannon.
Yeah.
What else did he say?
I think it was just the usual slogans: no to racism, no to nationalism, no to fascism, no to hatred.
So maybe long hair should send some application to Hillary Clinton or George Soros. Like he should appoint himself to be what the Hong Kong branch of Antifa. Because he's really into that shit.
There was one other photo that I haven't included it, but it said something like, Nazis not welcome in Hong Kong.
Nazis? Seriously?
Yeah.
What Nazis?
And that's funny because Bannon said the China is like Germany in 1930.
How are we supposed to define Nazism? It's not.
It's just an insult, I think.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the real kind of Nazism, because I know that in Mongolia they're having some real hardcore Nazi parties.
Is that against the Chinese? Is that Mongolian nationalism?
Yeah. Yeah, they're seriously forming that with all the uniforms, swastika, everything.
That's a bit too much, actually.
Yeah, because they're seriously oppressed by China.
I think Hong Kong nationalists are quite, they don't go for that type of garb, Can we go back to the pick 115101?
Control panel 唔該20170915嗰個圖。
So we don't, Hong Kong nationalists are not interested in that kind of getting dressed up in silly Nazi era.
You see just shirts and pants.
Yeah.
Short pants, flip flops.
Yeah.
You can't really relate that to what Nazism at all.
Yeah.
So I seriously don't have any idea why long hair has to protest against Nazism in Hong Kong, because they simply put there isn't any Nazist movement in Hong Kong at all.
Yeah. Well, I think they were saying that Bannon's a Nazi. Anyway, thanks for that pick, operator. We're out of time. And we'll come back in the second segment soon. Bye.
Okay, bye.
經錯過我哋精彩嘅節目，而家上嚟呢個網址就可以訂閱晒我哋8大頻道，付費之後仲可以重溫晒所有精彩嘅節目。記得要訂閱我哋嘅 YouTube channel 同埋讚好我哋嘅 Facebook 專頁啊！